This movie is a follow-up to adding a shroud to that 65 Mustang GT with a V8 in it. So after installing this shroud, sometimes it runs warm, sometimes it does not. So well, it doesn't get as hot as it used to, so at least it solved part of the problem. But I've talked to this one shop in San Jose, and that's all he works on is Mustangs. So what he told me is that the spacer is the original spacer, and it's too long. The fan needs to come back away from the radiator in order to get the full effect of the shroud of pulling more air through the radiator. So he told me that I needed to get a 2-inch spacer, and that would put the fan in a better location in relation to the shroud. So that's what we're going to do today. And it doesn't look like it's going to be that difficult of a job. So let's get started. So what I'm going to do is just remove the shroud and not remove the radiator, not drain any water. So I'll start. Okay, so that removes the 4 bolts. Alright, so. Oh. We have an Amazon delivery. You can hear the dog barking. The neighbor's dog barking. Alright, now with the shroud off, let's get the fan off. So this is a 1/2 inch. The important thing is, remember, this radiator hurts, so make sure you're in a position that when these bolts break loose, it's not skinning your knuckles. Okay, so we'll just turn it over nice and easily. And bring these other bolts into a position where it makes it a little easier for us to get up. To get at them. Now remember, when I put these bolts on, I put just a little drop of oil on the threads in case someone ever has to take it off again. And that person is me, so just lucky. Let's see how we're going to get at this. Let's move this back. Let's move this again. The car is moving a little bit because it's in reverse. I didn't put it in neutral. Okay, so it's coming off. Come on, a couple more threads. Alright, so now we can just slip it right out. There we go. So, we'll take the 4 bolts out because that will be too long. And there's the old spacer. Now let me get the new spacer. Here's our new spacer. So we'll just put it in a position. And then we'll line up the grooves here with the holes. And we have our new bolts. And I also put a drop of oil on each one just to make it easy to go in. So now the top hole here on the pulley is right up and down, right on top. So that just makes it easier for me to start the first one. Now the problem is there's a little shaft coming out from the water pump through the pulley, so I have to put that in the hole of the spacer first. Okay, now I'll do it again, start it by hand. Okay, now that I have a couple turns on there, I can use the wrench so the threads don't strip because they already started in. Don't need much. Okay, so there's one. So now let me pick the next one. Okay, the second one, started by hand. Alright, that one's going in. Now let's pick another one. Now let's do the last one. Okay, it's on there by a couple turns. But they're all on. Alright, so that's the top one. Don't tighten it all the way. Let's get all the rest of these guys. Alright, that one's almost tight. Let's go after the next easiest one. Then as we tighten all the rest of these, the bottom one will have easy access to. I never have a problem with the wrenches falling all the way to the floor because they get stuck somewhere on the way down on the frame or underneath the bumper. Then you have to look for them. Okay, so that's the third one. Let's do the fourth one. Alright, so what we'll start doing is tightening these up. Okay, there's the top one. Now remember, this radiator hurts, so don't get your hand next to it because you'll scrape it. Alright, so we did the top one. Now let's go do the bottom one so that we tighten it in a cross pattern so it keeps it even with the pulley. Okay, that's the last one. Let's go to the first one. Okay, now let's go to the bottom one. And the sides. And the side. Okay. That's on there. Now let's go back and put our shroud on. I'll just start with one of the easy ones up on top. Go to this side, up on top. And the bottom one. And the bottom one. Okay, so let's tighten these up. And 4. Alright, now next thing, let's check for clearances. Okay, so looks like we have clearance all the way around. So now the next thing is start the car.